All right, let me send the announcement out. Bit tired today, but that should be fine. Probably just got a bit of food coma, honestly. Send the announcement out. Bit tired today. Probably just got a little bit of food coma, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. So yes, let's start with the 2-3-3s. Usually different from my 4-4 starting points. See if this suits me better. Interesting choice of move here. It does give me the two side. Okay, that's fine. I do believe I did get the better of that. Fairly close, I think. But I don't think this move was as valuable as this one over here. I'll eventually do this. It really depends. That's also fine. It's interesting. See what he does. The interesting thing about Go is like you can play like hundreds of thousands of games, and like each new opening can still be different. It's the really interesting thing about Go. I feel like I don't think that's a good move. I think chess openings are a little bit more static. Yeah, that's definitely not a good move because it does give you a little bit in the corner, but at the same time, like, that's an interesting move. I could just ignore that. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and take the bottom. I think it's fine. Wrong sequencing. He can't. Okay. I mean, I'm alive. Okay, that's fine. I don't think that actually favored me, but we'll see. I'll do this first. And this. Might as well. He has influence on top, so okay, I got what I wanted. So this is actually really important to cut off some of it. I can let him break some of my territory on the bottom. It's not that big of a deal if he does. Oh, that's a good invasion move, actually. Huh. So once again, I'm not actually trying to kill him here. I actually can't. I am just trying to get some Aji. I hate when my mouse screws up. I think he just killed himself, actually. Might have. Actually, no, I can't do that. But I can trade his... Yeah, I'm going to let him do that, because if I do this and he squeezes here, I think he gets in. But notice how he just traded the side for his corner. So like I didn't lose any points there. You have to realize I didn't lose. I just traded the side for the corner, so I didn't actually lose any points there. I should have actually done this first before I answered any of these moves. But the thing is, like, I didn't actually lose anything on the side because I just took his corner instead. So trading the side for the corner is not a bad move. That's also a bad move. You're supposed to extend this one first. So essentially, yes. I basically traded the side for the corner. I'm going to connect this because his group here still is not very strong. That doesn't matter. I am going to actually jump here. I want him to do this so it solidifies this down here. So like originally this was his Moyo and his way to get points, but now I'm making it like my way to get points. This is how you take advantage of attacking people. You don't actually have to kill this. This is pretty unkillable, honestly. Unless he forfeits a move, unless he gives me a lot of Sente, this is pretty much unkillable. Yes, I am well aware. Yes, I am actually well aware that there is a that there is actually a ko. I'm well aware that there is a ko. Crap. But I will fight that ko. No, that's not a good move. Okay, yeah, this is... He's gonna do that? Yeah, he's gonna do that. What? That didn't make any sense. This cut up here was the right move. Guys, please hit the likes and the subscribes. That would actually help me a lot. Yeah, but it's not a ko. Why would you play that right now? Why would you play that right now? That doesn't make any sense. You would obviously cut this first. I'm going to take, and then you would play a ko somewhere. Okay, this is actually a really hard decision because this corner is not that big. So if I just take this, let him have this corner, take the sente, that actually might put me ahead. So I'm just going to do that because if I do this and he puts one in here, that's going to be double ko for me anyways. And this is not completely dead yet because I can just launch in here. So this is going to be, I'm not going to play that right now. I'm going to play this first. This is just a usury move that he probably has to react on. Remember, like, I also have this particular move as well. So instead of like basically like I just traded this corner, and this is not completely traded, by the way. So don't forget, guys, this isn't completely traded. I essentially traded this corner for this corner now. So eventually I'm getting something out of this, and he doesn't have too many points. And he made this here a lot bigger. This is also a pretty big move. Essentially, now he has, like, this corner is mine now, and I got a lot of points on the side. I do actually have to do that. But now I get this move. Obviously, I'm going to do that first. The thing is, yes, he can get some center points, but I'm not really like. But me taking the side is going to be just as big for me. Like, me taking the side is going to be just as big because like I got all the points on the bottom now. And like I said, this corner isn't completely taken. I can always do this. I mean, if you really think about it, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is like maybe 12 points. And him doing this is more than 12 points worth of damage. That's probably not a good move, actually. That was actually a really bad move. I remember, like, the thing is, I did give up this corner, but this corner was originally his, and it's now mine. So, like, this was probably like a 20-something point swap here. And plus, I get a lot of the points on the side. So for me, that's definitely a win. I'll just trade my center points as his for his center points. That's not going to be worth all that much. That was a bad move because he had this Pete move here. Is that big? I don't think that's that big. It's really like 4 points, so it's really not that big. There are moves much, much bigger than that one right now, I believe. Just got to figure out which ones they are. I actually do believe this is bigger. So if he connects here, I do have to block. This is probably also bigger. That does threaten my cut, but that's not really that serious of a cut. I think blocking here is probably the right move, because I don't want him to cut here after he cuts there. That's pretty big, but I believe this is just as big. Wait, I gotta... Ah, crap. Whew. Well, it was not a good move by him, because I think he should have done this first. This, I might not have been able to connect this if he actually did this first. And now this is kind of pointless. I think. Yeah, I think this is kind of pointless now. Tori go down. Connect. No, it's not kind of pointless. I do actually have to connect this unless I want to give up that 1 stone, which isn't really worth all that much. This is pretty big. Do this though. If he Ataris, I can just counter Atari. It's not a big deal. You have to realize that like the only points that he's been able to get is like this here, and that's not even solid points right now. I think this is really big actually. It's not exactly the best move, because I get this anyways. It's definitely a bit of a foobar for me in here, because I think he should have extended this first and made this a fake eye. And then, like, if he actually cut this off, I don't think I would have been able to live. So he could have actually... That's a really bad move, because I'm just going to take this. He could have actually cut these 3 off. He honestly could have cut those 3 off. You didn't need to do that. It's fine. There's no point in that. I think I'm going to connect this just in case. There's not that much there. Oh, let's status quo now. Why not? Wait, what? Oh yeah, that's fine. So like the points in the corner, it's just a couple of points in the corner. It's not like a huge amount of points in the corner. Ooh, that's not good. You just kind of like... Yeah, that's not a ko. That is most definitely not a ko.
You have won.
I'm up by like 50 points anyways. And I was up by like 40 something before then. But I didn't think the difference was that big, but I knew I was up by quite a lot. But this game is going to be pretty interesting to actually review. This game's going to be pretty interesting to review. That's okay. I'm going to pincer on that, and then I'm going to do that, because that's something I would do anyways. I feel like and he jumps out. So I feel like I did get the better of this trade. So like this game, a lot of this game for me was actually about trading. So I'm going to play this move. That's fine. I'm going to play this move. That's okay. Take the 2. You already spent 2 moves here. You spent 3 moves here, so giving you the corner is not that bad. Then, of course, we play the regular Joseki. It's okay. I'm going to head off. You do that. I'm going to do that. That's probably unnecessary right now. I think this was probably the. I think I should have done this first. That's actually a really big move. So I should have done that first. But I do this. He does this. I'm going to jump. I think I could have done this as well. And then just jumped when he jumped. That's the other move I could have done. But I just jumped. He jumps. I do this. This is not a good move. You see, you lose like 3 points because me blocking means basically you get a really small space, but I get the corner. So this, I feel like you almost, at this point, like, you know, I wouldn't do something like this. I feel like here you're almost obliged to do this. Because if you just go up and then give me the connect, if you just play here and basically give me the connect, I feel like you're losing. So I think like I suppose like the AI actually wants me to do something like this or like come up or something, but I'm gonna just kind of like take this block because I feel like getting a couple of points in the corner is worth it, especially if you let me connect. That's not a good move. Here I can just ignore you and go elsewhere, you know. And it's not really all that much. These 2 stones are kind of light. So I'm going to do this. Yeah, this is actually not a good trade for me. But you kind of messed up here. You pretty much should connect this, and then we should probably just like go that way or something. Because doing this, giving me... Oh, that's actually not a good move by me. So he does this. I'm going to connect. He connects. He does that, and then he gets that. So I do get some of the bottom, but he does get the influence. So I guess it ended up okay for him. I'm not exactly sure how you should play this trade. Like here, I feel like I should just ignore you, or maybe even do this or something. But I feel like mostly I should just ignore you. Like if you do this, I should just do this first, and then just ignore you because this isn't really all that big, and then go elsewhere like here or something like that. I feel like I can ignore you because if you spend a bunch of moves just killing these 2 stones, it's not that big and it's not worth it. So yeah, I made a mistake here, going here and then letting you come up top. Yeah, that is actually the right move. I can't take this because then you can do this. And if I do this, you can just kill. So that's really not an option for me. So doing this was kind of a bad thing. So I had to connect here. But after I do this, you can do this as well. You can actually just go here. I don't know if... Yeah, you can't really do this, but you can force me to do something like this, which is very, very bad for me. So I guess you can do something like that. So, but he didn't do that. He does this. He lets me connect. He connects. I'm going to take. And then this was actually the right move because this move is really, really big. I just got to find time to do that. So remember, like, on this type of thing, like this move or this move is really, like, this move is really big for white. This one's really big for black. So he does that. I'm going to force here because there's the peep there that he might have trouble with. He does that. I don't think he needs to do that right now. I really don't think he needs to do that right now because I wouldn't peep now anyways. Even if I did peep and you connected the top, it wouldn't be that bad for you. And I wouldn't peep right now. So this is not something I would do right now. That obviously I'm going to do. This is a really big move. This is a really big move. This is many, many, many points. So I do this. He does that. I'm going to come up here because this is actually like he kind of has to do this response. I'm going to come up here because if he let's say if I go elsewhere, he can actually do something like this, and then like kind of like he can do forcing moves like this. Then he can kind of like do forcing moves like this, and that really, really starts to build his Moyo up here, which I don't really want to deal with. So I'm going to come up here because that's going to be easily the biggest move. I kind of expect him to invade down here somewhere because this, I don't consider this mine at all. So he does that invasion, which is perfectly fine because that's like, that threatens to connect. So I have to break off the connection. He does that. I'm going to go up here. He does that. I'm going to do that first and then come up. This is pretty, I feel like you should just Well, I feel like you should do this first, but I don't know. Maybe that's not good. He does that. I'm going to extend downward. At this point, you should definitely do this first. I'm going to have a lot of problems here if you do that first. You do have to watch out for this, though. So he does that. Actually, maybe not, because you are killing off one of your liberties. So that I guess it's good he didn't do that first. But there are definite problems here for me. So he does this. I'm going to do the top thing, and he actually does have to answer. This would probably be the easiest. This is probably the easiest answer right now. Like if he doesn't answer, there's obviously that, and he wouldn't really be able to live. So he does actually have to answer. So he answers here. So I should have actually done this first, because now if he actually answers here and I do this, then this group's just then and I do this, sorry, then this group's just dead. Because if he blocks, then I'm going to just do this. So I should have actually done that first. But I think, and the difference is like the way I sequenced it. Like if I did this now, he could do this. And that would actually bring black back. So I can't actually do that. So I saw I did the wrong sequence. Like the sequence is really important because like a lot of people, like if they, especially in lower ranks, because if you like for instance, if you do this here, he might not see the sequence here and he might block, right? And then this group is dead. But in higher ranks, like I guess in higher ranks it doesn't really matter, because if you do this and then you do this, at this point though, black might have just been better off playing here and getting the corner territory as well, because you do still get like part of this down here, not all of it obviously, but you do still get part of it down here, and you keep the corner. I feel like that's probably the better move. So he takes, I'm going to Tiger's Mouth here, and then he has to connect here. And then obviously I'm going to jump in and take the points. It's generally not a good, I mean, like, the thing is, I probably should have just done this, honestly. There's not really much you can do. You can follow through, but then, you know, it's like Sente for me, plus I get these two. So I should have just gone up here, but I Haned. He does that. So here you should actually extend downward. Here you should definitely extend downward. Remember, like, I'm dead here. So I definitely played wrong here. So like here you should definitely extend downward. So this obviously is no good, because if you extend downward, I don't really have a choice. I have to connect, and then you can actually get what's left over here. So he definitely made a mistake not extending downward. And even if I could live down here, you would still extend downward, because at least then, you know, like you can have like moves like this, and you know, like it's a lot of Aji. So he does that first. That means I'm almost alive here. He does that. I'm gonna connect. He does this. I'm going to go else. I'm going to do this first. This is still dead. I am very well aware that this is still dead. This is still a ko if he does this. But the corner honestly is not that big right here. It's only about 12 points, so we can take care of that later. I'm going to jump up, which is much bigger. He's going to do that. I'm going to do this and start forming my moyo. So I'm using like his group's weakness. I mean, he could have just done this right away, honestly, and use the code to do this, but like I'm using my group's weakness to A, fix some of my problems down here, and B, build up this moyo. So this is how you actually orchestrate this attack. I'm gonna do this, he's gonna do that, and then I'm gonna jump over here, and you can see like how my territory is forming based on attacking this group, and how I'm like at the same time reducing the effectiveness of this moyo while like while actually like getting my own territory. So he does this. That's just a weird way to do things, honestly. This is always Sente, so he's going to have to connect, and then I'm going to do this. I probably should have done this first. I definitely should have done that first. I don't know why I didn't see that, but I definitely should have done that first. He does this, I connect, and then he does this, which is pointless right now because it's not Sente. At this point, you have to fight for the Sente. So I'm going to do this first. If he doesn't answer, this is really big. He should just do that. I'm going to do this first. That's not a bad move. That's really not a bad move. It kind of like forces me to do this. 14 point, like, I mean, the correct move here is to do this and fight the Ko with me. You could probably get this corner here if you fight the Ko with me. Anyways, so he obviously does a wrong move here, because, I mean, you're self-Atarying, so obviously that's no good. I obviously going to take. And then here, yeah, you know, like, I made a mistake here. You know why? I should have just done this, because now this group's dead. I can easily sacrifice this for this. So realistically, like, I made a big mistake here by answering, because I can just do this, and now, like, your group's dead down here. You have to fight the Ko with me here now. Because if you do this and then you spend one more move to kill it, I'm going to do this, and now all of this is dead. So this is actually a pretty big mistake by me. I didn't really read this out. I was just wanting to save this group. So I do that, and then he does that. Now that takes this move out, because now I can no longer fill it. But the thing is, like, I can still connect this right now. And if you connect this, I'm going to do this first. And then maybe, like, connect this. And I don't really know how this... I guess I don't have I'm like one liberty behind there, so I can't do that right now. So essentially, like, here, that's a bad Ko. This is a really, really big Ko, so this is not big enough for this Ko. I should have just disconnected there. That's my mistake. He does that. I'm going to take this. Then he does this. Now, the thing about this is, like, this is not big enough of a Ko. This is worth 12 points. And if I hop in here, this is worth just as much. And plus, you already damaged yourself a lot here, so I'm just going to go ahead and take it. You kill me, I'm going to do this first, because that's one of those Sente moves. And then I'm going to hop in, because this is, like, really big. So the thing is, like, I went from, like, trading this side to trading for this corner to trading for this corner, which is just as good. He does that. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to fly down and take the rest of this side. He does that. Obviously, that... I mean, I guess, I think I should have just done this. I think that's actually a better move, but I'm going to do this. That's fine as well. At some point along the line, you should actually trade this move. Like, actually, here, you probably should have just traded this move. That's actually a lot of points for me. If you really think about it, this is actually a lot of points for me. Right now, it might not be worth it because it's Gote for me, but this is actually a lot of points for me. This is just trading. Pushing here is a bad move, because if you don't push here, there's, like, this move still. You wouldn't do it right now, but there's that move still. I'm going to jump up. He's going to jump up. I'm going to go over. I'm going to push first, because I know you're going to have to answer this. And then I'm going to jump to the side and then basically break your territory in exchange for you breaking my territory. So I made that exchange. That's a bad move because, like I said, it takes away this move. And right now, you probably wouldn't do this because of this. But in the future, like, you're taking out, like, a variation that's actually pretty good for you. So that is not that big because that's really 4 points. So I'm going to take this, which is a little, I think is a little bigger. If you connect here, I have to block here. Otherwise, like, I lose all of this. So I'm going to take this first. He does that. I'm going to do that first because there's always that move, and I really don't want him to isolate this. So I'm going to do this first. Probably not the best move right now, definitely. He's going to do that. I actually think this move is a little bit bigger than this, but I might have miscalculated this. Then he does that. I'm going to go here. So this is a miscalculation by me. He should have done this. Because if I do this, now this is a fake eye, and then he does this, I'm not really sure if I can actually survive. Actually, I don't think I can. Well, I might be able to do this, but then he can just do this. Yeah, I don't think I can survive here. Like, this would be dead. So this is a big mistake by, this is actually a big mistake by me. He should have done this first. I would be forced to do this, and then he can take this. This is still Sente for him, so I would have to connect this. So that's how that sequence is supposed to go for him. That's how that sequence is supposed to go for him. He gets these 3 stones, the rest of this group lives. So, but I don't think he saw that. So he goes ahead and does this. Of course, I'm going to do that. Save these 3 stones. And if he does this, I'm just going to backward Hane as well, backward Atari as well. So essentially, yeah, that, and then I'm just going to do that. So he didn't really. That's not a worthwhile move. It's not really that big, but the thing is, like, he didn't. I don't think he saw the other variation, but he could have taken those 3 stones. Here is going to be pretty big. He's going to block that. Yeah, I should have connected this first. This is bigger than this. This is pretty big, but this is bigger. Do this. He does that. This block, I just don't think the reverse Atari is that good because this is Sente for me, and you have to connect, which means I get this anyways. This is definitely not good for you. This is definitely not good for you. Like this particular stone is very big, so you should connect this. I would have to connect this anyways. So that's how that actually should should play out. But basically, you taking this and letting me take this, that's really bad for you. It completely destroys any hope of points you can have in here. It gives me a couple points too. So does that. I'm going to go down. He doesn't have to do that right away. I'm going to do this first, and then I'm going to connect this. That's not really relevant. That's not a very big move. That's not really a big move. This isn't that big right now, but it just makes me feel cleaner. I think if it was a close game, I probably wouldn't play that. I would probably play something like over here, maybe, because there's still a couple of points here. But I just connect. He does this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for Ko, and this is like not a Ko. All right, that just gives me points. Like, the thing is, you can just play this here. I would have to disconnect, and then we'd be fighting this Ko. I feel that's kind of like the variation I was actually expecting from him. Either that or he would just find like random Ko threats, like because this one I'm not willing to sacrifice too much for this, and it's not like a one-step Ko for me because you still have this move, and this group is already connected out. So at most this is like 10 points for me. So I feel like he could have just found any like Ko threat, and like he could have just basically found any Ko threat with me. Like if he did this, I would answer. So this is a wrong move here because that just basically takes out the Ko, and then he resigns here because he's down by 50 points. So a lot of this game comes down to favorable trades for me. Trading this side for this particular corner was good, and then trading this corner for this corner via this Ko. Because not only did I gain this corner, I also gained all these points up here. So even though he killed 10 points, he probably lost 20 or 30 here, and that's when he really, really started losing. So that is... my bad. I didn't... I didn't see these. I didn't really see these bots. That's my bad. I was explaining the game. I didn't see these bots. So yeah, that's a really bad move by him. That's probably a loss of like 6-7 points. So you can see after he's at, I'm at plus 46.9. After this, I'm at plus 53.7. So you can actually see like this corner is not that big. So this corner, like even though he just lost the corner, it's only like plus 7 points for me. So this corner was roughly worth like 7 points. So that is actually the game for this time. If anyone wants to play me, you can send me a challenge. I'll wait for a couple minutes. If anyone actually, you know what? I don't have time today, unfortunately. So I will be back on Monday. I actually do have something tomorrow morning, and I want to get a little bit of rest and a little bit of downtime beforehand. So I will see you guys all on Monday. Hopefully I can play a couple more games on Monday. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys later.